Hello there, I'm back. Yes, after a little bit of a break from doing videos. I've been running, been sort of ticking over with the training. Nothing too intensive, just enjoying those runs really. I haven't been doing any long runs, and I know that was one of my biggest complaints after the big half. But being that I've actually got no races sort of to train for, I couldn't really see the point in doing them long runs just for now. It's just a little break really, and from doing these videos as well, which I do enjoy, but they do take up a lot of time with the editing. Energy's gone into been doing a little bit of DIY indoors, bit of painting, etc. So that's been taking up a little bit of time. Now it's Tuesday night, it's a miserable night, and tonight is the first night of the winter blocks. And tonight we are doing 14 times 400, all with a 200 recovery, all straight through. Get your heads down time. It's a absolutely filthy night, like I just said, terrible conditions. Hopefully it might dry out a little bit. What I'm going to do then in terms of races coming up, I shall tell you all a little bit later. I've bought myself a new pair of running shoes. Now these are just basically, I'm not going to do running reviews on trainers and things because I'm very limited because of my size being a little bit odd, 12.5. There's not many brands out there now. Adidas and Hoka do my sizes, so I bought myself the Mach X2s as a sort of utility stroke, just ones just for running about, just for training in. So tonight is the first night that I'm going to use them. Just going to use them for the warm-up tonight, and then I'm just going to use my normal shoes, which are the Adidas Pro 3s for the track session, which give me a little bit of assistance. Get moving, get these shoes on, get on with the warm-up, and I shall see you after the session. I'll let you know how it goes. See you a little bit later after, which looks like it's going to be a very, very damp evening. Oh. Right, let's get a bit of light on the subject. Quick track report. I cannot complain at all. That was a big one, 14 times 400. When I say a big one, that's probably one of the easier ones. They get harder and harder, but it went pretty well. It started off nice and easy. I think I was about 98s for the first sort of 4 or 5 maybe, and then I sort of noticed I could just about make out on my lap button. I think I was running about 90, 92s, 93s in the end, and I think I actually ended up with a 90 at the very last one. Park conditions were absolutely disgusting, poured with rain. I was tempted just to knock it on the head, but you know what, it's got to be done. We've got to get these sessions done. There's a lot of them to come, and if you can start at the bottom like we are now at the bottom of these sessions and build your way up, it just makes life a lot easier as we progress into the winter. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Morning all, it's Wednesday morning. I've just done a recovery run up to Epsom Downs. Pretty muddy, pretty rough, but ideal because it keeps me nice and slow, keeps the pace down. That's just what I want after last night's decent track session, which I think was pretty good in the end, as it all turns out. So yeah, so Epsom Downs was pretty muddy this morning, lots of puddles. Pretty good really because it keeps the pace down, keeps it nice and slow. Ideal from recovery from last night's track. Last night's track I was really pleased. So from roughly from the 7th rep onwards, I was roughly doing about 92, 93 seconds for each 400. So it's not hanging about, it's pretty quick pace. And for some reason the first 7 were pretty slow, about 90, 98 was the slowest one I would say. But that's the way I always treat these long sessions. I build into it and try and get quicker and quicker as the session goes on. Going to get on with some work, just having me coffee, quick bite to eat, plenty to do today, lots of leaves coming down. I'll catch up with you all tomorrow, and I will tell you all about the next race coming up. Thursday morning, just off out on my Thursday morning run. Before, as I said to you earlier, the new Hoka Mach X2 running shoes, I'm going to give them a go this morning. I used them for the warm-up and warm down yesterday, on Tuesday at the track, but it's difficult to really get the feel when you're just doing sort of 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to take them out for a proper trial this morning to see how they go. Like I was saying, I'm not going to do reviews really on shoes, but what I will do, any new gear I'll get in the future from now on in my videos, I shall do my own opinion, and I'm not going to go into all the spec, about the cushioning and the midsole and etc, etc. I was just going to say to you how I feel in them. Do I like them? How do they feel fit wise? I've had a couple of negatives come through about these already. Apparently the back part here, the issue with rubbing, there's not much there, as you can see. Compared to my other shoes, there's a bit more of a flap there. Weight wise, I couldn't really tell you because I'm a 12.5, so obviously they're going to weigh a little bit more than your average size shoe. But to me, my level of running weight is not really an issue, really, to be fair. It's not going to make much difference to me, is it? Especially over marathon distance. So anyway, I'm not saying I'll wear these for marathons, by the way. These are just really going to be for training, warming up, warming down, these sort of runs, hopefully. And maybe maybe nice to try them on a park run as well. But the first thing I have noticed, actually, like I was saying to you, I don't know the complete specs, but the amount of foam there is on the bottom layer here, and how small the top, the actual part where your foot goes in, is a lot smaller than that part there. It's almost matching, really. So it's going to be a different running shoe for me. So I'll let you know how it performs this morning as we're going along. Anyway, let's get out on the road and see how they feel. Just coming up to 3 miles now on the run. I've got to say, these running shoes do feel, I wouldn't say weird, but different. I think it's because of the thick layer of foam running on a pair of shock absorbers, I suppose. It just seems to be taking all the work, bearing the load and my weight all into that foam layer, which, to be fair, is helpful when you're on tired legs from a difficult track session. Like I was saying, first track long session, legs are a little bit battered. They're going to take a while to get used to, but so far not bad. We are Sutcliffe Park, do a couple of laps. This is how they feel with a little bit of pace. Yeah, pretty good, I've got to say. They feel a little bit weird in terms of the low ankle line and the back part, the heel. There's a little bit of, I don't know if it's rubbing or not. I don't think it is, but you just notice it in your head that it's there. I found myself running around in about 6:30s when I was sort of putting a little bit of effort in just to see how they felt at pace, and then I still carried on around about 7:10s, 7:20s around this park. So I was going to slow down a little bit, compose myself, so I've got a bit of an uphill run back to where I live from here. I'll go through Avery Hill Park as well, just to add on a little bit, just to make it up to 10 hopefully. So I'll let you know when I get back my thoughts on these shoes. So far good. Like I say, this is not a proper review because I know absolutely nothing about the technicalities and all the other stuff that people can just roll off. So I'm not going to go into that sort of stuff. I'm just going to say what I think of them. Do I like them? How do they feel? That's about it, really. That's all I can really say. So I'm going to get back now, finish this run off, get showered, get to work. But before I do that, I'll tell you all about them races in a second. Right, back to Avery Hill Park. Just having a little go on the grass with them. It's pretty good on the grass as well. I'll tell you about these races. Just a big thanks to all the new subscribers out there. It's pretty amazing, really, since the big half marathon. Picked up a lot of new subscribers. Really appreciate it. Keep them coming. If you're not subscribing, please do subscribe. It doesn't cost a penny. Doesn't mean a thing. You're not going to get stalked by spam mail and all that sort of stuff. But all it does, it just helps with my algorithms and pushes my videos a little bit more out there. As obviously there's millions and millions of channels out there, so it's very hard to get them out there, to get them spotted. So all the time you like or subscribe or leave a comment, it helps every time, so much appreciated. By these races, right, I'm doing some cross countries, yay. I've took the decision this year, after the last 2 years bailing out of them, really, basically because after my episode with my ribs, it sort of put me off a little bit for quite a while. I was a little bit nervous about doing that again because it put me out for such a long time. It was like 10-12 weeks to recover from them rib issue, and it affected my training for even longer, so I didn't really want to chance that, so I'm going to have a go again, but this time I'm not doing my club, Cambridge Harriers. I'm going to run the Kent Fitness League, which is on a Sunday, so I've joined New Eltham Joggers as a second claim, so that entitles me to enter those races. So I'm running them second claim for Eltham Joggers. Pretty good club, more of a sort of a social club. Got a lot of decent runners, I've got to say that. There's quite a few, a lot faster runners than me, so I'm not going to be any way means one of their quickies, but no doubt they appreciate me turning up, so I'm going to try and get down there on a Sunday for as many of them as I can. Now it's called the Kent Fitness League because they're all basically obviously in Kent, so they're all sort of probably within an hour, top whack hour and a half drive from where I live. Now the first one is, I believe, is in November, beginning of November if I'm corrected, which is Swanley Park, so keep an eye out for that, and hopefully I should be doing some vlogs on them cross country. Top of my head there's quite a few. Oxley's Woods, not too far from here at all. Knoll Park in Sevenoaks, Millis Bay, which is a very interesting one. Hopefully I'm going to make that one. That's in, I think that's in January. Rough Common near Canterbury, and I believe there's another one somewhere near Dill, can't quite think the name of it. So there's quite a few to pick from. If I can make 3 or 4 of them, I'll be happy, as long as it doesn't clash too much with my marathon training, hopefully in January, February, but we'll see what happens there. Might not even get a place yet. Anyway, I'm going to give myself home. Right, I just got back from the, done about 10 miles. I think average pace was about 8:10, so that went okay. Yeah, so basically I like them. Not for me for racing though, definitely not. And I did just slightly get, I've got no red mark on the back of my heel as such, but it just felt a little bit strange at the back. But maybe that's because I've read and seen other videos, people comment about it, and maybe it's just sort of in my head about it. But I could definitely feel something not quite right. It could just do with being a little bit more support, a bit higher, I would say, around the ankle. If you had any ankle issues, it might not be the ideal shoe to run in either, to be fair. But I mean, I sometimes get the odd little ankle twinge now and then, so I probably would revert back to my other shoes. It'd be interesting to see how they would feel on a long run. But I'd normally use my Adidas Pro or an old pair of Hoka Carbon X's for a long run. But it'd be interesting to try these out because you do get quite a lot of return, and like I was saying, it's like wearing a pair of shock absorbers, but they're pretty good. Definitely worth for what I paid for them. I didn't pay the full price. I used a app called, I shall tell you what the app is called now, Sports Shoes, and it's a pretty good app, and if you register, and you'll actually get a 20% autumn discount as well, and you can also register your British Athletics or English Athletics number as well for other discounts as well, which come up on whatever you might be buying. It tells you before you check out what percentage you get. It varies on different stuff. Some stuff you don't at all, some stuff you do. So it's worth registering for that and not having to pay the full price. So I think I paid 130 for these, where there would have been 160, I think. So quite a substantial discount, but you do have to pay for delivery on that website, which I think is $4.99. What do I think of them? Yeah, they're all right. That's my opinion of them. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I shall see you all the weekend, hopefully, for a park run. I'll give these a try as well to see if it improves on my performance. We'll see how it goes. Catch you all later, folks. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.